Hey, beautiful. Welcome to the Mindset with Mary podcast. I'm your host, Mary Jo Rumber, life and mindset coach. My mission is to help busy, outgoing women turn chaos into clarity, burnout into badass, and self-doubt into unstoppable confidence. Because, babe, you deserve to live a life you absolutely love. And it's time to stop putting yourself and your goals last. And I get it. I've been there. The anxiety, depression, distraction, overthinking. I know what it's like to try to juggle it all and yet still never feel quite good enough. But I learned how to flip the script, step into self-love and build habits that actually stick, and finally create the bold, badass life that I absolutely love. Now I'm here to help you do the same. Each week, I'll share powerful tools and strategies on mindset, manifestation, mental health, and motivation. Plus, I'll share practical, no-fluff tips on time management, productivity, all with a touch of spiritual baddie. So grab your favorite drink, press play, and let's rise and manifest together. Hello. Welcome back to Mindset with Mary. I am so thrilled to have you here. So grateful. If you are new here, welcome. I am your girl, life coach, mindset mentor here to help guide you to manifest a badass life with ease. And if you're not new here and you've been around, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you. I just love you guys. I cannot get enough of this. This is my passion, my joy, and all the things. Today's episode, I have a really good topic for you. Something that I've struggled with for so long, and now that I have the mindset that has truly helped me shift and start getting the results that I want in this area of my life, I am so grateful that I get to share it with you. And my goal here is to give you some strategies, tactics, mindset to take with you, and hopefully you get to implement this and start to see the results in your life as well. Today's topic is, what do I do if my partner refuses to do the personal development work? Right? What do I do if I want to work on our relationship and he's not willing to do the work? What do I do if, I want to start learning how to manifest money, but he's like, you crazy girl. What do I do when my partner refuses to do the work alongside of me? Well, the first thing I want to say is kudos for you for tuning in here, because that means that you are probably an ambitious, outgoing person and you are craving more in your life because you've been called to it. And I just want to share this with you. Girl, do not wait on anyone else. Do not wait on anyone else. And I'm gonna explain to you why in just a minute. And I'm gonna share with you how you can actually use manifestation and this new mindset to create the results that you are wanting to get. And start to see this shift in not only your life, but your partner's life as well. Before I dig into all of that, though, I just want to remind you we have a giveaway going on right now, $50 Amazon gift card. Leave a rating review. So if you're on Apple, you got to scroll, you got to go to the actual podcast, click on Mindset with Mary, and then scroll all the way down to the bottom. Leave that 5-star rating and review. Do a little screenshot of it and send it to me at Mindset with Mary on Instagram. You can DM it to me, or you can email me, mindsetwithmary@gmail.com. So go ahead, do that, send it to me, and you'll be entered in. I'm going to announce the winners on episode 100. The reason why I'm doing this is because I really just want to celebrate the podcast for all that it's gone through, this whole 100th episode. I'm so excited. But also, the more you guys share what's helping in this podcast, the more we get to share with other outgoing, amazing women that they also get to work on their goals and dreams and do it with ease. They get to do it while working on their self-worth and really being able to step into their power and start taking control and leading their life. And how cool is that? More people getting to live that way. That's why we're here. That's why I'm here, because this work. It is life-changing. It is literally life-changing. And I had no idea what I was missing until I got to this point and I'm like, wow, that's what I was missing, right? So when people are out there and they're like, there's something missing, I don't know what's going on, but something feels off. This is the next step. This work is the next step. And I just want to share that with as many people as possible. We all deserve to live a happier life. So share it, share why this podcast has helped so that other people can see that this is something that can help them. All right. Go ahead, leave your 5-star rating review, screenshot it, send it to me. Make sure you do that soon. This episode is 98, so that means like get your booty on the reviews ASAP, and then you get entered in, and I will announce a winner on episode 100. Okay, let's dig in. Are we ready? All right, here's the mindset reframe that you absolutely want to take on when it comes to reaching your goal. And when it comes to like wanting your partner to join in with you. And I get this because it can feel really lonely. I remember for so long, I was like, why won't you just, it felt like my goals and dreams, like me, myself, didn't matter to my husband because he was like, what is going on? Like, why is this all of a sudden you're like, you need to learn about mindset and manifestation? And why are you so obsessed with making me learn these things and learn them in the way that you want to? And it didn't get me anywhere. In fact, it actually made him put up his walls and be more closed off to it. And that's what most people are going to be doing, because when you're 2 steps ahead of them, 10 steps, however further along it is, right? When it comes to the personal development, you feel safe learning about it because you've done the work to get you here, right? You've had this calling. Maybe they haven't had that calling yet. Maybe they don't feel safe in it because they haven't learned enough about how it can start to shift. Maybe they haven't felt that shift and see. Their brain is probably trying to protect them because it's like, this is a lot of work and I don't want to do the extra work. And your brain's always trying to keep you from doing more work than you need to preserve energy. Your brain's like always trying to protect you. So just remember that this is new for them, but it's newer in a way that they don't fully grasp it yet. You're a few steps ahead. It's like trying to tell your kids, like, here's how to do times tables when they're in first grade. They're in first grade. You're in third. You're learning times tables and you can understand it because you've gone through the steps before that. They haven't. They're still in first grade. So just bear with them. Okay, here's the mindset. When it comes to your relationship, if your partner refuses to do the work, I just want you to know this. It only takes one person to shift the energy in a relationship. And this is the mindset that you want to take on. With this new mindset, what you're going to understand is that you're not going to quit. Because here's the thing, if you quit now, if you put off your own growth simply because they're not willing to join in with you, then absolutely nothing changes. When you grow, so does the relationship. When you grow, the relationship grows. Can I say that again? When you grow, the relationship grows. And again, when you grow, so does the relationship. And as your mindset really starts to change, you show up more empowered. You show up less needy, and you show up with more influence. And when you show up that way, they start to question and get curious. Wait, what are they doing? I want to know more. Waiting for your spouse is just an excuse. Your brain's always trying to keep you safe. And if you're going to say, I'm going to wait for him to be ready. Or I'm not going to do this work right now because it's pulling our relationship apart, because that in between phase, right? They're going to be like, what the hell are you doing? And you're like, oh, I can't do this because it's making him feel uncomfortable. And you use that as an excuse to not do the work. This is the opposite of leadership. This is the opposite of leadership. And all you're doing is setting an example to your spouse that it's okay to give up, that this work actually doesn't matter. If you give up, you are literally setting the example that this work doesn't matter and that it's okay to give up. One of the coolest things my husband has ever told me is that I am so resilient and persistent. And when it comes to something I want, he actually looks up to me because I don't give up. And I didn't need that validation. I wasn't seeking it. But when I heard it, I was like, that is the coolest thing I've ever heard. Okay. So all of this work that I've been doing, it's paying off. And he looks up to me because I'm not willing to give up. Choosing to lead first shows that you have power, and not like power over them, but like power in your purpose. You show up with peace and poise, with energy and passion, and people crave that. It is magnetic beyond measure. When someone sees you and you show up in your leader energy, in your purpose, and in your passion, people are like, I've got to know what that person is doing. I've got to know. And that happens in your relationship. When you start to shift and you start showing up in your power, they're going to want to know what you're doing. You're going to be setting that example. When you choose to lead first, you communicate better, you set boundaries with purpose and intent, and you create more intimacy for the two of you. And the crazy thing about it is things actually start to shift in your favor while you are in this patience phase, right? Not the waiting, right? Because when it comes to manifestation, if you're in this like waiting, like, oh, like, why isn't this happening for me? That is not the energy of manifestation. That's not why you got into manifestation. You got into manifestation so that you could enjoy the process. You got into this manifestation process so that you could let go of the hustle, so that you could stop being in that mentality. You got into manifestation because you wanted to do it with ease. And if you're sitting in the mindset of, why isn't this working for me? It's going to be really easy to go back to the old mentality when you start hustling again. Yes, there's going to be work to be done, but you get to do it and enjoy it. You get to do it without the feeling of that like angst in waiting, right? The waiting actually gets to be enjoying. We're going to start shifting the weight to the enjoy. Like you're going to start enjoying the process when you're using this manifestation, the manifestation techniques, you're going to start enjoying it. So if you find yourself in waiting, this is kind of a side tangent, by the way, but if you find yourself in that waiting of like, why is this not working for me? Or why is this not happening for me right now? You're basically subconsciously reinforcing to your brain that you don't believe that it's possible or that you don't believe you're capable. And if you do that, then you're in that energy. So whether you believe in manifestation from a scientific perspective or whether you believe it from an energetic, woo-woo, whatever you want to call it, perspective, either way, you're blocking your manifestation. And that's not to say that you can't manifest, right? You're just not manifesting with ease. which is why you got into manifestation from the whole reason you wanted to learn about manifestation is because you wanted to do it with ease. But hey, here you are over here hustling. If you're hustling and not enjoying it, you're not in manifestation energy. If you're hustling and you're enjoying it and you're having a freaking blast and you're enjoying life, life is good, then you're in manifestation energy. So I don't know where I was now, but anyways, choosing to lead first, it's truly going to shift your life on a massive level. The people around you, when they start to see you actually reaching these goals because you're being patient, they're going to want to know what you're doing. Stick with it until you start to reach some of these goals and like literally things start to shift in your life, the way you're showing up, the way you're responding to your kids, right? When you used to maybe freak out and yell at your kids and now you're no longer doing that anymore and your spouse is like, damn, I want some of that. Like whatever pills you're on, I gotta have some. You're like, oh, actually, it's not. I've just been learning about mindset and manifestation. I've been learning about personal development. Here's another piece to this. What I consume in terms of content around personal development, that's not what my husband consumes. He's listening to podcasts like Andrew Huberman. He's listening to podcasts like Joe Rogan. He's consuming personal development in his own way. I find this happens a lot with my clients. They're trying to push the content that they enjoy to their husbands. I feel like I know like 5 or 6 of you listening to this right now, and you're like, yeah, she's talking about me. I am. But I'm telling you this, if you are one of those people, like you're not the only one. Y'all are doing it. Anyways, you're trying to push out this personal development content that you consume onto them, and then you're pissed off when they don't maybe listen to it, right? But here's the thing. That's not them. And that's okay. They're going to get their personal development where they need to get it. You just have to show up and set the example, and they'll find it. They'll find the right frequency, right? They're going to tune their radio in to the right frequency that matches what they need to grow. And you have to trust that. You get to be patient and trust that they will. Because when you put trust in them and you show up in that energy, if you trust them, and I'll tell you this, like men love the trust. If you trust them, they feel like they're doing their job. They feel like they're standing in their purpose when you are trusting them, right? Because right, this masculine energy, they want to protect. They want to protect. And when you're trusting, they feel safe. They feel purposeful. And when that, like, right, think of the Maslow's hierarchy. When they're feeling safe and content on the base levels, it's going to be easier for them to move up and learn. So another example of this, and this is the last one I have for you. I had to flip my page. Hopefully you can hear all the crinkles. I want you to think of it like this. Think of a ripple effect. When you calm the waters, the whole relationship feels safe and more connected. When you're on a boat and the water, like right, you're going over those waves, you're holding on for dear life. You're grabbing the sides of the boat and you're rocking and you're rolling, right? And you're gripping. You've got your defenses up. There's no energy for open-mindedness because you're just like, I've got to save myself. When you do the work first, you are the one calming the waters. You're allowing your environment to become more safe, more subtle. And here's something I also want you to know is like when you first start your personal development, what you're going to find is that sometimes you have to dig a little bit deeper and you might get triggered more often. You might be showing up a little bit crazy in different areas. And this is where you get to say, hey, I'm working through some hard things. Be patient with me as I go through this process because on the other side of it, I'm going to show up as a better wife, a better mom, a better spouse, whatever it may be. Be patient with me through this process. You get to set those standards and boundaries because at first it's going to be a little rocky. You might rock the boat a little bit more than you need to. But on the other side of that, that's when the water starts to calm. And when they see it calm for you, and they see the shift and they see the change and they feel more comfortable being vulnerable in front of you because they don't need to keep up their defenses, they're going to want to know more. They're going to start to shift. And I've noticed this time and time and time again. I used to like try to force healthy lifestyle onto my husband, and every time I did, he would back away so far. But when I stopped trying to force it and I was just like, hey, babe, I'm going to be working on eating healthier lately. I'm going to be going downstairs and working out. I'd love for you to join me if you can. I love getting to see you downstairs in the mornings. When I showed up that way, he didn't always come down right away. And this is where like a lot of people will be like, that means he doesn't love me. I don't matter to him. You've got to tell yourself, yes, he does. His brain is probably running in the background saying, I can't wake up early. That's going to take too much energy. So we need to sleep in, even though actually, realistically, he will gain energy from working out, but his brain is trying to keep him stuck and safe. Remember, your subconscious mind takes up 90 to 95% of your brain, and it's running the show. Give him time, give him patience, because my husband always ends up downstairs with me. When I get up and I'm working out, sooner or later, he's down there. Sooner or later, he's down there with me. When I start eating healthier, he's 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks later, he's doing it. I don't have to beg him. I don't have to be like, well, you've got to eat this way. I just make the healthier foods and he starts to recognize like, oh, okay. Like I'm feeling better. And nowadays, here's the thing, and this is really cool. Since my father-in-law passed away, we kind of, and I don't like saying this word because I don't like saying it, but I'm just going to be 100% honest here. When my father-in-law passed away last year, my husband and I kind of became alcoholics. We started drinking more consistently throughout the weekdays because we were like going 100 miles an hour and we couldn't manage our emotions at the time. And not to say that that was a good reason. That was the coping mechanism that we used to manage our emotions in that phase of life. And this year we've decided to slow down and get back on track to where we want to be. We don't want to be drinking like that. We don't feel good when we're doing that. But he's the one who instigated it this time, not me. Sooner or later, they're going to start showing up in ways that you're like, what the heck? Where does that come from? They're going to be the ones setting the example. And when you see them setting an example, it's just going to make you like, wow, what are they doing? I want to know more, right? Like, I'm sitting here drinking and he's not. And I'm like, this is weird. This has never been the thing. Usually I'm the one like trying not to, and you are. And that's a cool thing about leading, is you set the example for other people around you to lead to. And then they do. Because here's the thing, and my guess is that like you have a good guy, you have a good spouse, you have a good partner. They're just stuck in the stuckness. They're in first grade and you're in third, and you've got to be patient and let them catch up. The first grader wants what the third grader has, trust me. But not if the third grader's over there antagonizing. Even if you don't mean to, right? Like you're putting, like, why don't you come to third grade? Why don't you do these times tables? Be patient. It will come around. You will find that your partner comes around. All I truly believe that all good men they want to support us on our journey. They want to support us in our businesses that we're starting. They want to support us in our health goals. They want to support us. They truly do. Just the way we approach it is going to shift how they show up. Put yourself in the energy of them already showing up. How are you responding to them when they start doing the work? How are you showing up for them when they are doing the work? And take that energy and put it into right now. And that will shift everything. And when they do these little tiny things, notice them. Right? Like, oh my God, thanks for working out with me today. That was amazing. I really enjoyed my time with you today. That was fun. Grab their butt. Like, thanks for working out with me. Squeeze. The people in your life that you want to help grow will come around. You've got to lead first. Set the example. Because here's the thing, leaders are ones that lead with purpose and intent. They lead with purpose and intent. And if you give up, all you're doing is setting the example that giving up is okay. And that is not purposeful and that is not intentional. So keep going, keep showing up, keep trusting this process because on the other side, it is 100% worth it. And you will start to learn that, like, it does get easier. Each step does get easier. And of course, like, even I have more to grow. My coach has more to grow. Her coach has more to grow. It just becomes this different level of growth. But that's fun and that's exciting. And it gets easier and it gets more fun each step of the way. Right now, like if you're in the beginning phases of personal development, if you've never worked with a one-on-one coach and you've never had that like intensive support, it's very possible that this is the hardest part. I will tell you that. This is the hardest part. This is the chunk, like, right? Here's the growth here, from here to here, and that's the hardest part. And then each new phase is like getting smaller and smaller. I don't know if you can see this video, if you're not watching the video. I like basically like the first part is like the length of it is the longest. And then it gets smaller and smaller with each step. Because you just start learning these new mindsets, and as you start to recognize like that you're capable, it gets easier, right? So each new phase, you're like, oh, well, I was capable when I did this. So then I'm capable of, like, of course I can do this. And you get to this point where you're able to work your way out of whatever the brain's doing in the background, because the brain is going to brain. It's always going to try to keep you safe. It's always going to try to keep you stuck, no matter what phase of life you are in. You just get to learn how to manage your mind better. You get to learn how to manage your emotions, and you get to start showing up in your power. Okay, that's what I have for you today. I am just so freaking grateful to have you here. And if you're wanting support on this journey, if you're like, I feel alone in this process, you are not alone. Please know that you're not alone, because there are so many other people out there, right? So if you're like, my husband refuses to do the work, I've got to be patient. I'm gonna do what Mary says. I'm gonna follow this process. But in the meantime, like, I want to connect with people who are also on this journey with me. This is why I created the Badass Babes community. This is my free space. I drop motivational audios each week. And there's like the free 5 Steps to Manifestation masterclass. There's a self-love challenge. There's multiple resources in there, but also a community of badass women who are also working on their big goals and their big dreams. And we don't have to do this alone. We get to do it with amazing people by our sides who get to help support us, and we get to support them, and we get to build each other up. So if you're curious what that looks like and you want to join, the link is in the show notes. I always say newts. If you guys have been listening to me for a while, you'll hear me say newts. Go check out the show notes. I don't know, like, is that even an accent? I have no idea. Newts. Go check out the show notes. It's there. If you want even deeper support and you want to take it to the next level, and I'm telling you this, like when I finally hired my first one-on-one coach, to have that support of somebody who's been through what I've been through, right? And for me, it was working full time while trying to create this business and create space for quality time with my family, grow my marriage, do all the things and be there for my family and still be able to do my hobbies and still be able to show up for my career, do all the things. And I had a coach who has gone through similar situation, who's wanting to grow in all of the areas that I wanted to grow in and has been through that already. That was so transformative for me. And she gave me so much. And that's why I love getting to do this. I love getting to give that back to my people, getting to share the tools, tips, and strategies that have really transformed my life, but also getting to do that with one-on-one support where you get, we're working together. I don't know what I'm trying to say. We're working together one-on-one consistently, but also you're gonna, like, depending on what phase you want to go into, maybe you're wanting just the Badass Babes Academy, which is group coaching and the course material, but with the one-on-one mentorship, you're getting that plus the group, plus you're getting the one-on-one mentorship, and you're getting the support in between. So like, if you have something thick and heavy in the in-between phases and you're like, I'm stuck here, here, and here, I'm feeling alone in XYZ, right? Or I'm not able to be like in the moment or present with my family because I can't stop thinking about this business and I need help with XYZ. I can't figure out how to do this without it taking hours at a time. Help support me. I get to help you with those things in between the sessions so that you're not just stuck in between. We get to work through it together. And that's where the shift truly starts to happen, because then you're starting to make those changes consistently and changing your mindset and showing up for yourself on a daily basis. So if you're wanting that in-depth one-on-one support, I would absolutely love to work with you, book a free consultation call. And the cool thing about these calls is it's not just something that you come into and I'm going to tell you what my coaching program is about. You're actually going to leave with like amazing resources and a game plan. So whether you decide to work with me or not, this free call, you're going to be able to leave ready to massively shift your life. You're going to have that game plan that you can take with you. So book the call if you've been thinking about it, or if it's something you're like, I want to know more, book the call. Let's chat. Let's do all the things. So I love you with my whole heart and soul. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, leave a rating and review. Make sure you let other people know how this podcast has helped you. You can even share it with a friend. DM your bestie. Be like, this is a podcast. I loved it. And then of course, like always, print screen this, share it on Instagram, and I'll give you a shout out. Okay, I love you with my whole heart. Goodbye.